Welcome to the Spiritual and Empowerment Living with Tia podcast, a sacred place and resource for spiritually centered women who want to go from the mundane to the magical life, for overcoming fear and doubt, reconnecting with the goddess, understanding messages from spirit, and uncovering your spiritual gifts so you can finally live the life you deserve. Hey there, Spiritual Trailblazers, and welcome to another episode of Spiritual and Empowerment Living with Tia. So the new moon in Libra for this month, this magical month of October. I'm very excited to talk about this because there are a lot of energies going on right now. And if we don't address it, we're going to think we're a little crazy. So as a side note, I also want to tell you that going forward in this podcast, or I should say on this podcast, there will be episodes dedicated to the new moon and full moon phases. So either I will be talking about it, or I'm going to have an expert, an astrologer, come on and talk about the new moon, full moon, and eclipses, anything in between that's really notable, something that we really need to really make time to understand what's going on and how it impacts our lives. So that's why you're getting an extra episode. I was going to say bonus, but it's really not a bonus. This is going to be a regular thing going forward. And also there's going to be another episode, which is a bonus episode next week. I went to what's called the Ghostly Circus. So thrilled to go to that. I missed it when it was in Philly last year. So look out for that extra episode. Following the week after that, there is another episode, not a bonus. It's my annual Samhain episode. So I have an expert. So I have an expert coming in to talk about the history of Samhain, etc. And she's so great. I can't wait to have her on. That's going to air before the 31st. Then I have my actual episode on the 31st. Okay. So you're getting 3 extra episodes this month. So you're getting more of me. Okay. So to recap quickly, going forward, you will be receiving new moon, full moon, and anything in between that is notable, like eclipses. There's a solar eclipse coming up. There's a moon eclipse coming up. So expect those episodes. Next week, there's a bonus episode next Friday, the Ghostly Circus, and then there's another episode after that, my annual Samhain episode. But before that, I'm going to have a lady who's well-versed in its history come on to discuss its history, how we can celebrate it, and so forth, so you can prepare yourself for that glorious day, the Witch's New Year. All right, so let's get to it. Now, per my earlier episodes where I talked about the new moon and how we can work with Goddess Hecate on those new moon days, the new moon is really a time for reflection. Okay, this is when we look inward, and it's really symbolic because you don't see the moon. It's dark. That's why it's also called the dark moon. So it's not this scary, spooky thing. You just can't see it in the night sky. It's nighttime. It's dark. And what I gather from this new moon being in Libra, because again, I'm not an astrologer, I'm someone who does a little bit of research to understand what's going on, and then I do this process where I break it down myself to understand how it impacts me. So Libra, the symbol is the scales. So this is a time where we are looking inward to find out where are we out of balance. Okay, so if you are someone who is constantly giving yourself up to people, constantly giving yourself up to a cause, constantly just giving so much of yourself up that your scale is not balanced, meaning everyone gets you, but you don't get you, you're going to be a little bit more angry around this time. You are someone who's probably a little bit more emotional this time, which is very interesting because normally we would hear people talk about heightened emotions during the full moon. But in this case, because this is the Libra season, we are now looking at what's not in balance. Okay. So when we think about the new moon, this is the beginning of the next lunar cycle, right? So we have that whole 28 days or however many days, and then we reach the full moon. In this case, this month has two full moons, in which the second full moon is called the blue moon, and we'll talk about that when we get to that episode. But this is the beginning, and then the moon progresses to become full, right? Or at least we will see it as being full because it's really always there. So you want to think about what is something that you need to begin. I'm going to tell you, before I realized it was a new moon, and I had this app on my phone, it's called Deluxe Moon. I talked about it in previous episodes. So before I realized the new moon was coming, I was already getting a sense of newness, something new. I need to begin something. I was cleaning out this old stuff from my wardrobe, this old stuff around the house. I deleted over 50 phone numbers from my phone. There are some people whose names I couldn't remember, like who they are, like who is this person in my phone. I had people numbers back from my days in college who I don't even talk to anymore. That's almost well over a decade at this point ago. I just thought, who cares? It's so much effort to delete. But we really need to think about that for a moment. We need to put the effort in to remove things that just are not adding value. Just because there isn't a direct impact on our lives doesn't mean it's not impacting our lives. I had to tell you, when I deleted the numbers, I didn't realize it was going to be 50 phone numbers. Okay. It ended up being like 52, 53, something like that. I felt good. I felt like I'm making space for new, valuable people and phone numbers. Not saying that they aren't valuable. It's just that at this time in my life, there's no reason to hang on to a phone number for what, maybe a text message, or maybe I get a little nostalgic. No, delete it. Okay. Plus, I'm not hard to find anyway. But what I'm saying is some things need to stay in the past. There were good times. All right. And that was that. And some people stay along for the journey. I still talk to some people from college. We are good friends. We see each other every now and then. But I want you to remember this. Just because there isn't a direct impact on your life doesn't mean there isn't an impact. There's something to be said when you clean house, okay? That shift of energy. All right. So new beginnings. Think about what you need to start in your life. Maybe you put something on the back burner because of this crazy pandemic and everything that's going on. Maybe you can revisit something. Okay. Now, this is also time for you to expect new things to come, whether that's coming at the next full moon, a couple of months from now, even a year from now. It depends on the size of the order, right? It's like one time I was talking to someone who wanted something done quicker, and not to give the full story away because I want to talk about the full moon, but I'm giving you the cliff notes. I said, you could speed up the process if you are willing to pay the people overtime. If not, then you got to respect their timeline. And even then, people still need to go home. Okay. So it's you got to keep that in mind during this process. Okay. Some things you cannot speed up. All right. And this is coming from someone who's impatient. All right. Moving along. Now, this is a good time for your dreams to really give you messages. I've been having some crazy dreams. Actually, I've been having consecutive dreams about me and my best friend, which isn't out of the ordinary. But what is out of the ordinary is how many dreams in a row. And it's all been great. Like I love my dreams with my best friend in it. It just is a symbol of our friendship, and it's just really cool. So I want you to write down what you're dreaming. And excuse me, and if you are someone who can't remember their dreams, I get this all the time. Okay. Everyone dreams, not everyone remembers their dreams. Okay. Sometimes we get little Snapchat 3-6 second memory glimpses into our dreams. But, okay, here's how you're going to start to remember your dreams. You're going to set an intention. You're going to have a notepad and a pen by your bed, or you're just going to voice record on your phone. All right. So have your phone on your nightstand a little bit away from you because you don't want your phone too close to you while you're sleeping. Okay. And if you don't want your phone by you, if you're someone who puts your phone in a completely different room, I don't know how some people do that, but they do. Have a notepad and a pen by your side. Okay, boom. So before you go to bed, okay, you're going to set the intention to remember your dreams. So all you're going to say is, dream guides, help me to remember my dream in its entirety. And there are many ways you can say this, okay? You can say, I hereby remember my dreams in its entirety, but we also have dream guides. So you can say, dream guides, help me to remember my dreams in its entirety. All right, that's it. All right, even if you want to record yourself saying it, do that. I will remember my dreams in its entirety. And the first night, you may remember something, okay? The second night, it get a little bit better. And you will receive little triggers during your waking life that will remind you of a dream. That happens to me too. All right. So pay attention to your dreams. They want to tell you what you need to know during this time. Now, that's called incubating your dreams when you prepare for dreaming. Okay, when you're setting that intention. Now, I don't want to go too deep into incubating your dreams. That's for another episode, but right now I'm keeping it super simple. Okay, just say that to help you to remember your dreams. Now, going a little bit back to the new beginning, right? I want you to focus on setting an intention for creation. Okay, because this is a great time for that. We are focusing on what is out of balance and what we can get balanced. And if you already are in balance with a lot of things, let's focus on maintaining that balance, okay? When we create during the new moon, it's going towards coming whole during the full moon and beyond, depending on, again, the size of the order. So think about where you're balanced, where you're not balanced, new beginnings, what you want to create during this time. Because I got to tell you, I just wrapped up writing a shitload of content. Okay. Like I was massively creating before I was setting up to record this podcast. And I love that. Like I just had a burst of energy. Okay. So think about what you want to create and be prepared to receive messages in your dreams. Now, if you don't know exactly what you want to create, what you want to bring into your life, because this is the time where we're planting the seeds. So full moon is like when we fully have that seed and it's like harvest mode, fully bloom. Okay, if you don't have a clear sense of what you want exactly, just be open to the possibilities and you will be inspired. Okay, just be open to the possibilities and you will be inspired. That inspiration can come from anywhere at any time. Okay, so just be open. If you have an idea, you have a topic, you have a category, just think about that. All right. For example, if you want to be in a romantic relationship, but you have no clear direction about how to go about it, who you really want in your life, whatever, just be open. to receiving messages. And that means you will probably see a lot of couples in love, whether they're hugging, whether they are helping each other, whatever form of love that may take. Don't get upset. Just think of it like this, like, oh, I'm surrounded by love, romantic love, and I'm next. Okay? If you want to bring in more money into your life, you want to have a thing to help you create more money, you may start to see Instagram posts about making money. And you may be put off a little bit, like, oh yeah, here goes one more person on Instagram talking about how to make money while you sleep. But entertain it a little bit, because you can always tweak something for it to work for you. Okay? And the final thing I'm going to talk about to wrap up here is mind your emotions. Okay, and I touched a little bit on it in the beginning, but mind your emotions. You have to do this anyway, no matter what. But during the actual days of the new moon and the full moon, we really have to be careful what we say, and this includes our nonverbals, okay? Because we will get triggered around this time, and trust me, I was annoyed several times today. But one of my favorite things to do is to talk to someone who I can vent to, knowing that it's not from a place of just this deep disdain. And in some cases, for some people, it may be a deep disdain, but it's a no judgment zone. I just need to get this off my chest, right? Because I don't need to harbor that. And if you have to text someone about it, make sure you're texting the right person. Okay, double check before you hit send, so you're not sending someone a text message that they don't need to see, because sometimes we just need to get it off our chest. We don't mean harm to the other person. We don't want to make things worse. We just need to talk about it so we can let it go. All right, so mind your emotions, go for a walk, take a deep breath, call up someone who's not going to judge you. Okay, write it down, and then burn the piece of paper, whatever you got to do. But just make sure you mind your emotions. Okay, so that's your new moon Tia forecast. I didn't give you any spells or rituals or anything like that, because this is something that we just really need to focus on getting back into our balance zone. So I decided to approach the dreaming aspect. So that can be a little ritual of it in itself. You saying, I will remember my dreams in its entirety. That's a form of saying like a spell, an incantation. Okay, but I just want to keep it really simple for right now because I get it. And then on top of that is Mercury retrograde. I'm already having technical issues. All right, so I'm not going to load you up today with spells and all that. We're keeping it simple this time. All right. Until next time, Spiritual Trailblazer, keep a lookout for the other episodes. I am rooting for you as always. I'm sending you so many blessings. And remember to be kind to yourself. As always, Spiritual Trailblazer, thank you for tuning in. Do make sure to stop by and visit me at tiamariejohnson.com. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Last but not least, be kind to yourself. I'm rooting for you, and I'm sending you so many blessings. Until next time.